will be Wycombe to get this second half underway. They'll feel they're 3/4 of the way to Wembley following that goalless first half, and Altrincham know jolly well what they have to do. A win here today for Altrincham will see them win at least a replay, which would be at Warsall's Bescott Park Stadium, and a 2-goal margin would see them, not Wycombe, marching on to Wembley to play in the final of a trophy they won in 1978 and 1986, as well as losing in 1982, when along the way they saw off Wycombe in the semi-final. Now here's Stuart Cash, dispossessed by Nicky Dawes. Cash with the throw-in. It's long, Rowlands clears, Keith Scott gets a thigh to that, and McCarrick plays the ball up the line, keeps it in play. And in go Shaw and Ryan. Now Guppy wins the first head up, and it will find its way back to McCarrick. Glyn Creaser beats Showler in the air. Now Anderson feeds Shaw. The referee getting in the way. But eventually the ball reaches its destination, which is the left back spot, and out for an Altrincham throw-in on the far side. Into McKenna, chests it down, but Simon Stapleton clears as Wycombe pack out the defence. Guppy and Carroll almost playing as advanced full-backs this afternoon, allowing Cash and Crossley to move across more into the middle. If that's going to be Wycombe's tactic for the second half, they're asking for trouble, I would imagine, because 45 minutes of sustained Altrincham attacking would surely bring a goal at some point. Now here's West, towards Simon Stapleton, and a crashing shot, which Jeff Whelan's turns behind, and that Wycombe's best chance of the game so far. The ball down the line with barely 2 minutes gone. Down the line to West, inside first time, and Stapleton, who's only in fact scored 1 goal this season, crashed in a shot which Whelan's did well to turn behind for Wycombe's corner. Guppy to float it in left-footed towards Glyn Creaser and Kerr. Whelan's has missed it, but it breaks to Nicky Dawes, now out wide to Brady. Here's Short. Short to McKenna. But a vital stop that by Whelan's. That could make such a difference come the end of today. Creaser, and on by Stapleton. Here's McCarrick now, as Altrincham look to build the attack once more. It's floated towards McKenna. Keith Ryan puts a sensible ball for Keith Scott to run onto. Scott slows up as if there were 2 minutes to play and he just wanted to kill that. And Stapleton again is inside. But the ball out wide, completely misread, and goes out for an Altrincham throw-in. Crossley. He's Guppy, but he doesn't get ahead to that. The foot was raised high and Dawes was entitled to win the ball. And now here's Brady, endeavouring to keep the ball in, which he's done comfortably. Faced by Andy Kerr. Drives in across. Glyn Creaser punching away a clearance. As Altrincham take the initiative to Wycombe at the start of this second half. Down the line to Brady. He's got McCarrick. Short. The cross comes in, it's dummied. And now Andy Kerr will have to get a challenge in. Was it a hand? Not given. Dawes crosses long towards McKenna. And Matt Crossley with a vital header at the back post. But McKenna's won the ball back. Fed it short to McCarrick. Now Harry Wiggins can float the ball in. What a difference that wind advantage is going to make for Altrincham. Mark West comes away with the ball. But a foul to Altrincham, quite rightly. West just running into trouble and running into Tommy Miller, who wins the free kick. But it looked like a hand for a moment from Andy Kerr with just 4 minutes of the second half gone. The ball floating around in the wind. The players unadjusted yet to the change. And it appeared to strike Kerr's arm as the ball bounced down. McCarrick's centre it was. Now Stuart Cash gets a chest in the way and plays it firmly back towards John Granville. As Ken McKenna, aggressive as ever, puts the Wycombe keeper under pressure. Now Scott to Stapleton running through. Has he got the legs? He has, but the control, the timing of Tommy Miller, enough to take the ball off the Wycombe midfielder. But Stapleton, not for the first time today, making some very useful breaks from midfield. And that's the difference which Wycombe's away formation makes to the pattern of play. Stapleton making the runs from deep as Guppy and Carroll are held back as wide midfielders. The ball bouncing, Guppy trying to get a challenge in. Rowlands out wide, but too wide for Dawes, and it will be a Wycombe throw-in. Which Stuart Cash throws into the feet of Keith Scott. Looks for his options. Mark West takes the ball off him. It always looks like he's going to lose out there. Keith Ryan plays it wide for Matt Crossley to run onto. Challenged by Showler. Gets his cross into West, near post. And almost trouble for Altrincham. Scott to West, and Ryan played it out wide for Crossley to get his cross in near post. With 51 minutes gone, Mark West's near post header going behind for an Altrincham goal kick. Ryan plays it wide for Dave Carroll to sprint onto, but the ball carrying away from him. Up goes Kerr, judges the flight of the ball well. Now McCarrick can come away. Kerr, bad ball though out, and that won't find Dave Carroll. Instead McKenna comes away with the ball. Keith Ryan had time, didn't use it well. Instead the ball ricochets, and Keith Scott is brought down by Nicky Dawes, not given. And now Brady almost gets away from Cash, but Kerr's in there first. And eventually Wycombe do at least win a throw-in. But Mr. West is all smiles. Despite the protestations this afternoon, he's been firmly enough in control so far. Rowlands heads clear. And Stapleton appeared to lift his boot a little high. Perhaps John Brady ducked his head. The net result is a throw-in to Altrincham. Cash is up. Guppy volleys clear. For West to run onto, with Miller in attendance. West holds the ball up well. Comes inside, crosses towards Keith Scott. And that's inches wide from last week's match winner. 53 minutes on the clock. And Mark West coming inside his man, following the dummy run from Stapleton. Clipped in across, and Keith Scott's header was not very far wide to today's opening goal. Rowlands to Anderson. As Altrincham look to assert their pressure on this game, look to put their control on the afternoon. Up goes Scott. Now West trying to get the flick on. Dave Carroll brings it down, and again it's inches wide. 10 minutes of the second half approaching, and Wycombe twice within a minute. That time Dave Carroll see efforts go just a matter of inches wide of Jeff Whelan's right-hand post. Carroll, again one of last week's scorers, holds his head. Keith Ryan reads it, heads on to Keith Scott, but his flick on found West not positioned to run on. Up goes McKenna. Kerr wins the header, but only flicks it onward. Now McKenna plays it wide to Shaw, down that left touch line, pursued by Dave Carroll. It's got Wiggins in support. Instead it's back short to Shaw. Now on the far side, Showler, shackled by Matt Crossley for an Altrincham throw-in. I would think Altrincham fans would be hoping that Paul Showler can become a bit more dominant in this half and use his wily talents to try and get away from Wycombe fullback Crossley, to weave a bit of much-needed magic for the Moss Lane men. It's Dawes with the throw-in towards McKenna. Kerr's at first, but it comes back towards Dawes, and in the end it's Crossley who clears. Whelan's will look to punt long towards the head of McKenna, and Brady here, who has come much more central this half. That's the only change I can spot in Altringham's formation, the opening 10 of this half. They've put Nicky Dawes much more wide on the right, attacking, and John Brady, who had the free role to roam on the right touchline, has come centre to support McKenna more. Also Showler coming centre when he can. Here's Dawes. Gets away from Guppy. Cash can clear, and that seemed to be a late challenge by Brady. Indeed, Mr. West, the referee, agrees, and it's a Wycombe free kick as Altrincham's frustration overspills, and it will be the second booking of the game. 56 minutes gone. John Brady's name goes into the book for that late challenge on Cash. And Altrincham will want to make sure they keep their heads, they keep their calm. It only takes that moment's goal from Altrincham and they're way back, well back in contention, so they mustn't let frustration overstep the mark. Second time Stuart Cash has been down today and needed treatment, and Wycombe subs very much alert to the possibility they might be called for before the afternoon is out. And Stuart Cash is okay to carry on with play. A quick chat with John Brady to check that no ill feeling remains. Granville clears long towards Scott. Won by Rowlands though, as it has been much of the time today. Ball from Ryan is down the line for Guppy to chase. And McCarrick does a good enough defending job to win the throw-in. Cash with the free header. And it'll fall to Mark West, who takes the ball towards the corner flag, even though we've got more than half an hour left. A tactic Wycombe fans are used to seeing in their own ground with perhaps 10 minutes left. But West has won the corner, and that will do Martin O'Neill's men, and indeed the 1,000-odd travelling supporters, just fine. 1,200 tickets sold out at Adams Park within half an hour last Sunday, and an extra 200 were sent down. So Wycombe are well supported today. Carroll with the corner towards Creaser. Flicked on, but it's Miller who can come away with the ball. Plays it towards Brady. Cash is there first. Volley's clear. Now Wiggins. Good header out to Showler out on the far side. Receives the ball back. Now he's got a chance to weave some of his magic. He wants the ball long. McKenna's over on this side. And Cash had to be sure, which he was. Good headed clearance. But now McCarrick into the box. And Brady's there first. Dangerous moments as Altrincham start to step up the attack. First of all from Showler's left wing cross, which McKenna waited on. And then the ball in from McCarrick. Found Brady, but his back header comfortably saved by John Granville. Here's Brady again. Feeds Dawes. Free down this right touch line. Towards Brady, and Andy Kerr can clear safely. Out for an Altrincham throw-in. But Altrincham starting to press. Dawes, who's got such a long throw on him, now has Paul Rowland sprinting up from the back to aim for. Creaser clears, but only back to Dawes out on this side. Challenged by Steve Guppy. In towards Showler, nice touchdown towards Brady, and he comes to Shaw! And that's the best chance of the afternoon yet. 15 minutes of the second half gone. The cross driven in, I think, by McCarrick, and it fell to Shaw, 15 yards out. He just had to get it on target, and Altrincham were back level overall, ahead today. But instead, his effort cleared John Granville's goal, much to the relief of the Wycombe fans behind that goal. Scott heads on. Guppy again beaten to that ball. Now Brady starting to cause problems. Cash clears to West. No foul indeed by Paul Rowlands, a good challenge. And Showler sprinting after it. Matt Crossley hoping to see it out. But it's still in play. I think it hit the corner flag. Matt Crossley has time to look up and clear towards West. And that looked like there might have been a push in the back. Scott's volley only puts his defenders in trouble. McKenna brings the ball down on his chest. Back to McCarrick. And now here's Wiggins as Altrincham start to get well and truly on top. Creaser just about reaches the ball. Guppy up for the header. And Brady back to McCarrick. Played in towards McKenna, but Creaser is able to clear. Wycombe need to get their foot on the ball if they're going to take hold of this game. Matt Crossley does well. Now Dave Carroll, and this is the man who can put his foot on the ball, comes inside Shaw. He's got Keith Ryan inside him. Ryan. But he miscues his clearance, or his pass down the flank, out for an Altrincham throw-in. Ball is to McKenna, nice touch inside. To Nicky Dawes, running into space now, takes on Andy Kerr, gets past him. On the edge of the area, it's Brady. Brady shoots! And Altrincham are getting closer and closer to John Granville's goal. That effort, with 28 minutes left, came from John Brady after superb work from Nicky Dawes. And John Granville was clutching thin air as the left-footed shot just cleared the Wycombe woodwork. But Wycombe are living dangerously by sitting back defensively, and you can tell by the cheers from the Wycombe travelling support that greet that free kick how much a relief it is just to be in the Altrincham half. It's been a long, hard season for Wycombe. This is their 21st cup game of the season already. They're 58th in all. That's more than any other conference side. Excuse me. Carroll back into the area, and Keith Ryan was close. He's gone out for a goal kick. But Wycombe always a side who prefer to attack. In the conference they've let in 41 goals and a fair few more in the cup, and their best policy would possibly be to attack, but easier said than done when the home side are looking to press. There, however, a gift of a chance to attack as Mark McCarrick puts the ball behind for another Wycombe corner. Their fourth of the afternoon, compared with Altringham's 2. And Dave Carroll and Steve Guppy will conspire to try and give Wycombe the sort of goal chance which brought goals for Kerr and Creaser 2 rounds ago in the trophy against Cheltenham. They won that tie 2-1, and 2-1 is how they lead overall in this tie. And there, on the far post, is Mark West. And Mark West is the man who claims the goal. With 19 minutes of the second half gone, it was Dave Carroll's corner. I think it got a flick on the near post from Glyn Creaser, and at the back post, stealing in, was Mark West to touch the ball in, almost unmarked, to put Wycombe 1-0 ahead today and 3-1 ahead on aggregate. Altrincham have it all to do. Kerr clears. And now how will the teams react to that day's first goal? Altrincham have to come at Wycombe full stretch, which is what they've been doing most of this half anyway. Now McKenna gets the ball down to Shaw, out wide to McCarrick. And John Granville is able to watch that out for a goal kick. And the Wycombe fans still celebrating Mark West's 35th Wycombe goal of the season. 36 in all. He also got one for the FA 11. And he was telling me last week it's his best scoring season now. He's got 22 goals in the conference. He's joint leading scorer in that. Well, now he's got 3 FA Trophy goals as well. Throw in from Dawes, Guppy intercepts, Ryan heads on. Goal scorer West puts McCarrick under pressure. West has not completed a game for Wycombe since March the 2nd on this very ground. Failed to score that day, but since then, an operation on an injured knee has kept his performances down to part games as he's been substituted on a few occasions. Guppy hoping to head that clear. He can't. McCarrick wins possession. Brady's inside with space. But Kerr the challenge. Now Rowlands. And unmarked is McCarrick, who can get his cross in. Keith Ryan's control not good enough on the first occasion, so Shaw can feed Showler on the far side. The cross comes in towards Dawes. And just over the midfielder's head as Guppy looks to clear line. Mark West can get the ball down. Turns away from Rowlands, pleads for the free kick, doesn't deserve to win one, and Altrincham regain possession. We're in for quite a final 25 minutes now. Altrincham need 2 goals to save this tie, to take it into injury time. 1-0 down on the day, but it's worse than that overall, of course. With the flick on towards West as Tommy Miller is almost in trouble, but he comes away from both Wycombe strikers. Now Stapleton. Guppy. And the first cries of Wembley that I've heard this afternoon come not from the Altrincham fans, but from the visiting Wycombe fans, both in the seats to my left. And as Dave Carroll sprints down the right wing behind John Granville's goal. Carroll, he's past Anderson, but he's fouled by the Altrincham midfielder. It will in fact be an indirect free kick which Dave Carroll can take. And the afternoon's first substitution sees both Altrincham players being thrown into the action. So on will come Andy Reid and Mark Hughes. Hughes is 14, Reid 12, and the men coming off are John Brady. The referee's attention yet to be signalled. John Brady and the man who gave away that free kick, Gary Anderson. John King looking to salvage this game by fresh legs. So Mark Hughes, as I say, 14 goals in 18 games for Altrincham this season. Top scorer for the Moss Lane outfit last season. Only 21, but like his famous namesake, a man with a goal pedigree. Can he turn the game for Altrincham yet? They'll need 2 clear goals if he's to do that. Now Guppy with the free kick on the far side. 20 minutes left. Short to Stuart Cash to drive. But rather disappointingly, if you're a Wycombe fan, wide of Jeff Whelan's goal. Up goes Keith Ryan. And now Wiggins clears towards Showler. Showler wins the ball and Creaser clears. And now Mark West can sprint onto that. He's beaten Miller to the ball, but he's been shepherded away from the goal. Keith Scott has come near post, and it's gone for a Wycombe corner. And again, Carroll and Guppy will conspire. I was telling you before the last goal, I believe that they fashioned the Wycombe winners against Cheltenham. Well, there they might have put Wycombe towards Wembley with their corner. Guppy, and Whelans has done well to take that under pressure from Scott and Kerr. Away by Carroll for Scott to run onto, but Miller's cleared well to Shaw. Now Ryan dives in at Showler, but Showler comes away from one Wycombe man, not from two, and Crossley can clear long towards Keith Scott. What can Altrincham dig up now? What extra reserves have they got? That's one of them, Mark Hughes. Showler back to Wiggins. Back to Showler. He's past Carroll, almost past Crossley, but two men were one too many for the England semi-professional international winger. The throw into McKenna. Can he turn? He's past Creaser. He's past Crossley, but he's not quite past Andy Kerr. Kerr down on the deck, and eventually it falls to Dave Carroll. Hairy moments in the Wycombe defence, with 26 minutes of the second half gone. McKenna was past Creaser, he was past Crossley, but Andy Kerr, prostrate on the ground, did enough to nose the ball away, and Dave Carroll could clear to safety. Excuse me. My apologies for the sniffling and coughing this afternoon, but I'm glad to be here. Scott with a flick on, but it goes out for an Altrincham goal kick. West with a flick on, and Scott almost in with a chance, but he's adjudged to have either fouled Tommy Miller or been offside. McKenna up here is yelling for the ball to be played towards him. He's got support in the form of Hughes and Showler, but Crease is first to the ball. Now Rowlands has McCarrick to his right. Flicked into the area towards McKenna, who wins the header. Now here's Mark Hughes. And from the edge of the area, that was an excellent chance for Altrincham. 17 minutes left, and Mark Hughes from 18 yards could only drive his shot wide of John Granville's goal. Quite a chance for the Altrincham substitute to make a name for himself. Mind you, with a name like that, I imagine he already has done so. Stuart Cash does well, now Stapleton. And all the way back towards John Granville. Good teamwork from Wycombe as the calls came in quickly to Simon Stapleton. Again, Keith Scott, the man who has to battle it out. And Paul Rowlands, that time not the winner, it's Tommy Miller. Now Guppy, overhead. Now it is Rowlands. Challenged by West. Stapleton to Guppy. Now Ryan. West. But Andy Reid's in hard and wins the free kick off Guppy. Andy Reid, quite a regular in the Altrincham lineup last season, and indeed played against Wycombe in defence back in September. Man who had to try and mark West. Kerr with a nice clear volley. Not happy with the challenge from McKenna, but my eyes had gone from the ball and the incident. Man on Cash's back, and he puts Kerr in trouble. Kerr will have to turn away and concede the throw-in. Schowler wants to leave the throw-in to Dawes. And it's in towards Rowlands. Cash is there first. Stapleton can clear. Now West tries to get the ball under control. Tackled by Harry Wiggins, and in fact fouled by the Altrincham defender, as Martin O'Neill, down on his bench, cries to his defence to keep calm, keep cool. A situation, of course, the Wycombe manager is so used to in his time with Nottingham Forest as a player. He reached 2 European Cup finals and 3 League Cup finals, all within the space of 3 years. He knows about winning semi-finals. He's never lost in one yet. But that free kick from Cash is wasted and allows Altrincham to try and put in a final quarter of an hour, which will save them from defeat. Here's Dawes, challenged by Guppy, but he's able to get the ball linewards. And in fact, it's the wrong side of the line as far as Altrincham is concerned. Rowlands is first there. Shaw chests it down towards Andy Reid. Poked up in the air towards Hughes, who does well. And McKenna just taking a little dig at Stuart Cash after the ball had gone. I did watch in that instance to watch how he does react after the ball has gone. And a quick flick of the boot into Stuart Cash's back. Scott on towards Mark West. Looked like handball by West, not given. Miller comes away, but ball given away. Keith Scott sprinting after it with Paul Rowlands, who clears and allows Harry Wiggins to play the ball back to Jeff Whelans, the former Wolves, Darlington, Manchester United and Birmingham man, 39 years of age. Played, as I said last week, in the FA Trophy final in 1986, his first season at Altrincham. And down goes Mr. West, the referee. But he's able to look up to see Altrincham pile the ball towards Stuart Cash, with Schowler in pursuit. And that's brave play by the Wycombe defender. Not such nice play from Nicky Dawes, who took the man out after the ball had gone and then, in frustration, bent down to have words with the Wycombe fullback. The frustration spilling over for the Altrincham players. And that looked, I must say, like a bookable incident from the Altrincham midfielder. Although it's 1-0 on the day, as I keep saying, it's effectively a 2-0 lead for Wycombe as they prepare to make their first substitution of the day. And the linesman's attention has been grabbed, and it will be Mark West who makes way. He's already guaranteed himself hero status should Wycombe hang on to this. And again, like last week, he'll make way, and Andy Robinson goes on, which will allow Keith Ryan to be Wycombe's nominal second forward. 11 minutes to go. What can Altrincham do? Miller. Good ball towards Dawes, but he can only head it out for a Wycombe goal kick. John Granville clears long, but well read by McCarrick. Plays it towards Hughes. And Cash will have to be certain. And he sees it out for a throw-in. Dawes with the throw-in. Towards Showler and McKenna. McKenna gets it under control. And words between McKenna and Robinson. And it has to be said, McKenna's had a go at most people this afternoon. And indeed, it's a Wycombe free goal kick. Scott wins the first ball. McCarrick can clear, only to Robinson. Short to Dave Carroll. That's the sort of composure Andy Robinson has been able to add in many late stages of games as Carroll attempts to use up a bit of time and dribble down the right wing, but he's run the ball out of touch. Robinson sitting deep in the Wycombe midfield. But here's Hughes, has a chance to turn and run at the Wycombe defence. He's away from Carroll. Can he go all the way? But Cash nips in. And again, Dawes the offender. In the same tussle, the same two men. John Granville to clear. And Scott has to run all the way to the other end of the pitches. With the wind advantage now going that way, Granville can kick the whole length of the pitch. Altrincham, during their 25-game unbeaten run in the league, have lost one cup game when they went down to neighbours Macclesfield in the County Cup. So the unbeaten run doesn't stretch back as far as the conference record suggests it might. But nonetheless, a great achievement by John King's men. John King, who played in the 1982 side that got to Wembley and beat Wycombe. Wycombe gained a 1-1 draw up here at Moss Lane on that occasion. And that's time it's Andy Reid with the late challenge as Andy Kerr is upended. And really, 2 players booked already. Unless Mr. West books someone else soon, then I suggest that Altrincham might cause someone some dangerous injury. Graham Heathcote, John King's assistant, of course, was also a member of that squad, and how they would have loved as players, already having tasted Wembley, to go back there as the management duo this year. But with 7 minutes to go, it looks as if it's not to be. Here's Showler, come across on the right again now, in short to Andy Reid, who feeds Dawes. Dawes tries to get ahead of Cash. Cash just elbows Dawes out the way. And now the second substitution to be made by Wycombe. And again, like last week, it's Simon Hutchinson, a left winger, coming on for Steve Guppy. A direct swap, a chance for fresh legs to add impetus to Wycombe's cause. Now Showler will take this free kick. If Altrincham were to get one back now, we'd be in for a hell of a last 5 minutes. Tries to set McCarrick free, the header into the area. It falls to Shaw, heads it back into the area. Kerr with their first header free. And now Stuart Cash boots it away, out of the ground, for an Altrincham throw-in. And a few vital seconds go by as another ball is thrown in. Dawes with the throw to McKenna. And he's able to get across in left-footed, floating towards Granville's goal. And at the second attempt, Granville got hold of that. And indeed, I think it's a free kick for the challenge by McKenna, who tries to claim that he committed no offence. Granville clears. Scott beaten in the air, and Robinson can't get that. Andy Kerr is in first. If Wycombe could get the ball on the deck and play it to Hutchinson and Dave Carroll out wide, there would perhaps be a chance to play some controlled football in these last 5 minutes. As it is, a hoof clear will certainly do whenever that's the option. And now Hutchinson has fouled Andy Reid. And it will be Tommy Miller to blast Altrincham forward in these final 5 minutes, aimed towards Dawes. Cash can watch it out into touch. Scott just flicks on to Rowlands, and now Keith Ryan clatters in to the Altrincham centre-back. And Mr. West will have a word with Keith Ryan following that challenge. Can Wycombe hold out? And the referee is being called over to the flag, to the linesman, who wants words, something we didn't see. Let's see if we can hear this. And there are claims on the far side that Creaser and McKenna might have been clashing, not for the first time this afternoon, and there could be trouble here. Let's see who he runs to. And it's Ken McKenna, number 10. You get the feeling he could be in trouble here. McKenna had words all last week against decisions, but this week, as Altrincham looked to be bowing out of the FA Trophy, he's finally going into the notebook of Mr. West. With 3 minutes remaining, what will the decision be? What will the colour of the card for McKenna be? Obviously an off-the-ball incident, which I missed. And it's red. Off goes McKenna, and with him, off go Altringham's hopes of the FA Trophy and GM Vauxhall Conference double. McKenna, for an off-the-ball incident, is sent off in dramatic fashion in the last moments. The ball is towered towards the Wycombe defence, and it's gone out for a corner. And Showler will take the Stapleton heads clear. Showler leaves it to Nicky Dawes, who can so long. With 2 minutes remaining, Altrincham will need something now. Cash heads clear. And Cash can whack that, and that just avoids landing on our camera. Pity the car behind. And again, another ball at the ready. Dawes to throw long. In towards Rowlands on the near post. It's falling to Andy Reid, to Hughes, but cleared by Creaser. Now Wiggins floats it into the Wycombe area once more, and Rowlands and Dawes get in each other's way, and Andy Kerr also down hurt. Bodies tussling to the end. One could never say it's been a good tempered affair this afternoon. 2 bookings and a sending off, and a few unfriendly words exchanged along the way between the players. And now, we're just approaching injury time. Stuart Cash has received treatment on a couple of occasions. McCarrick. But Keith Ryan's across and keeps the ball in for Simon Hutchinson, who tries to run at the defence, but Andy Reid can come away with the ball. Now McCarrick, challenged by Keith Ryan, tigerish till the end. Now Dave Carroll will come out wide. Feeds Matt Crossley. All the way back to Creaser. And he's got time to feed it further back to Granville. Granville boots it long for Scott to run after, but Wycombe don't mind if they get the ball now. They just don't want it in their own half too much. Hutchinson battling. And now Keith Scott with the ball. And now Simon Hutchinson in the area. It's a penalty. It's a penalty to Wycombe in injury time. Simon Hutchinson, the man sprinting towards the Altrincham area. And if that doesn't seal it, I don't know what will. Keith Scott's picked the ball up. Andy Robinson goes to have words, but with regular penalty taker Mark West off the field, I think it's Scott who will take it. So in injury time, Hutchinson was released by Scott, sprinting into the area, brought down. It's Keith Scott with a penalty that could send Wycombe on their way to Wembley. We're already in injury time. And it's 2-0. Wycombe are at Wembley for only the second time in their history. That 1957 occasion against Bishop's Auckland can be forgotten now, because Wycombe, 1991, are going back there themselves. And that might well be one of the last kicks of this afternoon. As the ball goes out of play, I'd already put my notepad down, believing we'd seen the end of our action. Now, certainly, Altrincham are out of the FA Trophy. It's now a matter of how much injury time Mr. West allows. Wigan's head's clear. And the leap off the bench from John Reardon and Martin O'Neill was prodigious. And there is the final whistle. Wycombe are at Wembley. And the players, the coaches, the officials stream onto the pitch. The travelling 1,300 Wycombe fans leap onto the pitch to congratulate their heroes. And I'm going off, if I can, to try and get hold of Martin O'Neill. He's immediately embedded by several Wycombe fans. Let's see if we can catch hold of him. Here at Moss Lane, the final score is Altrincham 0, Wycombe 2, and Wycombe win 4-1 on aggregate. Well, you've reached some finals in your time as a player, Martin. How does it feel to reach one as a manager?
This is just as good as any. It's as good as any, Pete, and I really mean that. I think that you may say it's a non-league. It's not non-league to us, and it was absolutely fantastic stuff for us. And I thought we deserved to win. We played. We committed ourselves. I've got nothing but admiration for the players, and I tell you what, our support was just simply phenomenal. Simply phenomenal. They carried us through.
Right. And after 2-1 last week, did you feel it was going to be enough in that first half?
Well, I said to you, I thought we might do enough. I think Scott's goal down there was a turning point of the game. We've climbed a mountain down there last week. We were a goal behind after 4 minutes before the game even starts. And suddenly we won the game, and I knew that they didn't fancy playing us, to be perfectly honest, and I knew that was going to be enough.
Right, and so now you can start looking forward to Wembley.
Start looking forward to Wembley. Well, we're going to have a few celebrations in the meantime. It doesn't really matter. We'll start thinking about Wembley probably tomorrow.
Many congratulations. See you at Wembley.
Thanks very much. Much appreciated.